Hi, I'm Dr. Roadhouse, and I want to introduce you to our patient, Judy Smith. She's been in our thyroid program. And Judy, why don't you just talk about the thyroid symptoms that you had before you came in to see us? You know, talk about the sleep issues, the headache, the stomach stuff, the bowel stuff, energy level.
Okay. I started gaining weight when I was about 8.
8 years old.
8 years old,
Okay. All right.
and never did lose that teenage fat. People would tell me, and I've dieted. I don't lose easy. Before we knew we shouldn't, I did a 17-day fast, and I lost 2 pounds
On 17 days.
on 17-day
Yeah.
fast.
Okay.
And then, so I just went along and, I am not a crash dieter. I don't do all the fad diets out there. I've done 2 or 3, and they just did work for me. 2 or 3 pounds is all I'd ever lose. So I just,
So you've always had a problem, with weight, right?
since I started, since about 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we got that, and then what about the other symptoms?
Well,
in other words,
the-
what else did you
Yeah, and then
feel
I
other-
started, my hair started getting thin. I've
Okay.
had brittle nails and dry skin for years. And then my hairdresser said, "You need to see somebody because you're really losing your hair." So I went to another doctor, and she gave me the compounds for the thyroid. I'm taking a thyroid. I've been taking thyroid for over 30 years, and I'm also diabetic, and right now diabetic, and my blood pressure. I have blood pressure meds. Anyway, so I went to a doctor that she did the compounds, and so she. Well, let me go back to the part is why I went to her, not just the thinning of the hair. I got to being cold. It would start with my nose, and then it would go into my lip and radiate through the rest of my body. I would go from down to about 94.6 or 93.5 would be my lowest that I've got, and I would just freeze. I just was cold everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big drop though, from 98.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
you would
and
feel cold.
so I had seen the kidney doctor for something else, and he kept saying it's your thyroid. And I saw another doctor, and he said it's your thyroid. And they all said it was my thyroid, but all they wanted to do was just the normal blood test that doctors do.
Yeah.
And even though the doctor that gave me the compound, she could see that it was in the range, and she said, "I understand why they're doing that," but she went and did reversal and different types of blood tests.
Mhm.
And then I took that for about 2.5 to 3 years, and that got better. And so I'm off of that. And but then when I saw your ad on Facebook, I decided to try that, and I thought I do have um, slow bowel problems. I have
You have reflux, right?
I do have some
Yeah.
reflux.
What about sleep?
I don't always sleep good.
Yeah. Okay. And then energy level.
My energy level is 0. It's just like, you know, and so since I've been taking some of the vitamins here and the little cream that we rub on, you know, and there are still days that I don't feel good, that I feel more tired than other days. But at my age, I cannot have to do some things, you know. So overall, I do think that I feel better, you know, and I think that I'm going to continue since I've learned about the gluten-free and what I should be eating now. I'm going to continue with that for a few more months if I can, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't want to. And you know, we're working on the inflammation that's in
Right.
the system, and so I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, what we did is we did lab tests to find out specifically what was triggering her inflammation, thyroid, all the other symptoms that she had. And so what we've done is we've put her on a restrictive diet, and we've also have given her products that are going to help heal the damage that, the items that we found when we tested you are causing problems for you. So we're in the beginning stage of that. The good news is that, after all the doctors that you've been to, you never had any days where you felt good, where your energy level is, and in just a short amount of time, you're already starting to feel a little bit better, which, right, with all the other doctors, you
You're
took all the medicines, the compounds, and nothing made you feel better.
Yeah.
So we're just still in the beginning stages of it. I just wanted you to talk about your symptoms and how we're doing, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll visit with you again in 2 months, and we'll be able to see the difference. Because already we're scratching the surface, and we're starting to get some improvement. And you've lost 12 pounds, right? Yeah. So,
And I'm pleased with that.
yeah.
I'm no longer on it. You know?
Yeah, so we're doing good, and that's a good start. So what we'll do is we'll check with you in a couple of months, and then we'll see your progress then, because it's still a little early yet. You're just new in the program. Okay?
Yeah. And you know, I found there's lots of things on the diet I can use.
Mhm.
You know.
But the diet that we've got you on was based on the lambs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
so we're very specific. We had the cross-reacting foods that were bad
Yes.
for you too.
Yes.
We've done that. So what we've done is we've restricted those things that were causing you trouble on that. And it's I mean it's work, but
Well, it
it's,
was more to try to find where you could get some things, you
Right.
know. But at this time of year, there's lots of fruits that
Yeah.
I like out there. So,
it's
and
and plus as time has gone on, it's been easier. But it was a big shock in the beginning because you had so many things that showed up on the test.
it was. But the thing that saved me at that time was I did like fruit, and if I didn't find have anything else, I could eat fruit for my meal, and put it down,
Yeah.
And I found some really, good foods that I can, fix. And so,
Yeah, you just had to get a little creative because we kind of get used to eating one way, and now because your lab test, you can't eat that way. So it is. I mean, after all those years of eating one way, all of a sudden someone comes and says, "Look, we've got this test, and you can't do this anymore because this is what's causing a lot
but I
of
keep
trouble."
telling myself it's to get me healthier.
Right.
If I get healthier by doing the diet and the supplements
Yeah.
and whatever, if I get healthier, I'll feel better. And if I get healthier, my stamina will be better.
Right.
Because
And you'll be able to enjoy life more.
exactly, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's being able to move and to climb those stairs. And I mean, I can do some now, but not as much as I'd like to.
Have you had days where your energy level was better since you've been in the program, or has it just been still kind of bad?
Okay, I've had days that it's better,
Okay.
but I've had days that are bad.
Yeah.
And I was going to say too that before I came here, I was always looking for something for energy,
Okay.
so that to put in a drink.
Yeah.
I didn't buy Red Bull, but
Yeah.
but the little sticks that you could get, with the
Yeah.
aspartame. And I haven't had any pop, any cola since I started, and I really am not missing it. I found other juices. I'm not a big water drinker, but I found the Sobe and some other brands
Yeah.
the Naked, the concentrate juices. I found other things that I just keep in the refrigerator.
You gotta remember, you're doing this to get better. It's a lot easier if you just go and grab a pop or whatever. But part of the problem is we got to get your blood sugar, level too, where it's not spiking all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of additives and sugar and pop, and so if you get by with it, it's a lot better.
I really even haven't even missed it, and it sits on the cabinet or the table for liquor. I just don't.
Well, that's good. See, and that's huge changes, and you're doing things that a lot of people think that they might not be able to do. But when you have those labs set in front of you, the best labs in the world, and we know exactly what's going on with you, it's easier to commit to it, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is. And there was something else I was going to say.
We haven't got to the memory issue yet.
Oh, okay.
That's later down the road. We got to get the cerebellum firing properly first.
Yeah, and before I started all this, it was nothing for my husband and I. We'd have our toast and whatever for breakfast. Then about 2 o'clock, we'd go out and have our main meal of the day, and then we'd snack around for supper. Well, that's not even good for a diabetic diet.
Right.
And we know that.
Yeah.
So it's made me realize I need to eat. And it said in my book I could eat more. I could eat more times a day.
Yes.
So I do, I'll pick up a fruit, or I'll pick up an apple, or I'll pick up a piece of cantaloupe. And then I have the almonds that I can snack on. I didn't like them at all when I started.
Yeah.
You know, and
You got to remember, you're eating for health, not taste. No, I'm just kidding. You know, it's just a change. You're not used
well,
to.
I made
that stuff.
I made the cookies, last
Yeah.
night without any of the flour in it.
Yeah.
No flour at all, and no eggs.
I
And
think
so,
after the initial shock, of all the changes you got to make, then you start, you get used to it, and then you start being creative, and that's where you're at right now.
my sister called last week and wanted to know how my diet was going, and I said I'm not on a diet. I said I'm on a managed program to help me feel better,
That's right.
to help get my
We're-
body healthier.
We're eating for health.
And she said, well, my goodness, what can you eat? What? And I said, there's a lot I can eat.
Mhm.
I have to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
I have to be willing to look for it and to make up my mind I'm going to make it at home. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that I can eat.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, most people that come in the program, when you talk to them about diet is the way that you eat, but most people think diet is losing weight and stuff, and so
Well,
you're going to change the diet, like eating foods that are healthy for you that aren't causing problems, and you get used to it after
Yeah.
a while.
Well, that was our mindset. You dieted to lose that weight,
Yeah.
but you didn't diet healthy.
Right, yeah. And so then people think, oh, I gotta go and do a diet. And they'll tell me, oh, I've been on all these diets and the hunger pains just kill me. Well, you won't have hunger pains because you can eat as much as you want of a healthy food. And that's what the difference is. Like, we had one lady that did testimonial for us, the video, and she says, yeah, I mean, I could eat anything that, as much as I want, so I didn't have those hunger pains, and I was so happy. So you're not suffering, you're not having the hunger pains.
No, absolutely not.
You're just suffering the suffering is that the initial shock of having to restrict your diet, and then you're going to expand your diet by being creative like that.
Yeah, and the worst part is going out to eat and
Yeah. And that is
and
for
I-
everyone.
Yeah,
It's going to be like that, and that will.
and we've cut that down some, and we even traveled out of state for about 3 days, and I was able to take all of my supplements with me and everything.
Yeah.
You
got to stick with them. All right. Well, anyway, you're doing great. I know it's a big change for you, but you're already seeing some of the benefits, and you haven't been in the program long at all. So we're going to check in with you in a couple months and see how you're doing, and look forward to getting some good news.
By
Okay.
then I'll be so thin that I.
Well, we should have put a name tag on you because they won't recognize you next time.
Okay, good. I hope they don't.